Here we have two sugar cubes, and they're not the exact same mass, but they are very, very similar. And they're close enough for our experiment. One of them will be kept whole and one of them will be crushed. I'm going to work on crushing that right now. If you would just hold on 1 second. Okay, I have crushed one cube, although I did not crush it very well. I'm going to work on getting that to be a nice, a better crush. I used my mug to crush it. This cube is still whole. So all these little particles that I'm brushing together, it does seem that there's a lot more sugar here, but really it's the same amount. So ideally we have the same amount of sugar in both locations. Just one of them is crushed up and one of them is still regular. I'm going to use my tape dispenser. I feel like I can crush it very nice and fine using this. Oh. Okay, that looks pretty good actually. That's pretty well crushed. Now what we have done, the surface area on this cube was this side, this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. That's it. You would add up the sides. The surface area is now here, the sum of all the sides of all these particles. So the surface area has increased drastically. We're going to place them both into 2 beakers with 100 milliliters of water each, and we're going to measure how much time it's going to take them to dissolve. Let me get that set up for you. Okay, as you see, I have both beakers set up with 100 milliliters. In this beaker, I'm going to put the whole sugar cube, and here I'm going to put the crushed up one. I'm going to stir them both the same amount of time. I'm going to time it. I will stop after 10 minutes, but I want to see which one will dissolve faster and how long it'll take. So I want to put these in at relatively the same time, and then I'm going to start the timer. So, sugar cube, broken up one, and we could see whether they're dissolved or not. And I'm going to just stir them a little bit every minute. I use these pens, and I want to stir them the same amount because I want them to be the same. All right, let's let that go for a little bit. I'm going to pause the video and we'll check back in shortly in about a minute or two. Okay, about a minute and a half passed. I'm going to give them both another stir. But you can see the sugar cube did break up, and I'm going to just stir them again, just because I want this to move a little bit. Like I said, as long as I stir them equally, I still can get accurate results. And we're going to let this go about another minute, and then I will come back to you. Okay, now 3 minutes have passed from the start of this. Let me stir it again, and I can see the one on the right, the one that was powdered, is almost completely dissolved. The one on the left still has a little bit to go, but the one on the right will be dissolved very shortly.
Obviously, this one's pretty straightforward.
If I wanted, I could stir them the whole time. Like I said, I just want to keep it consistent. Whatever I do to one, I want to do to the other. That's all. But I can definitely see that the one on the left is going to take more time to dissolve than the one on the right. How much more time, I don't know exactly. I just know it's more. Let me give them one more stir. We're almost at 4 minutes. And it looks like this one is completely dissolved. I don't see any more particles in there. And that would have been at 3 minutes and 57 seconds. I will write that down for you. We'll give this one another stir.
That's a big part of credibility.
3 minutes and 57 seconds.
Research the author a little.
Okay, 5 minutes has now passed. I'm going to give this another stir, and you can see that the stirring really helps it to dissolve faster. The stirring creates more movement of particles, therefore more collisions, and therefore it will react faster. So the stirring also helps. That's why you must do the stirring consistently on both sides. It looks like this one still is not quite dissolved. I don't know if you see some particles there, but I do. So I'm going to let it go for 1 more minute. And it looks like it's just about dissolved. I'm just going to give it a little stir. There's just a few particles left. And I'm going to clock that at 6 minutes and 5 seconds. 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Okay, so you can see the difference between whether the sugar cube was in a full or crushed up form when you put it in, there's definitely a great difference in how much time it would take for them to dissolve based on the surface area of the particles. Or you could also refer to the size of the particles. You can consider the full sugar cube as one full particle, and you can consider the crushed up one as many, many little particles. So the smaller the particle, the easier it was for the reaction of dissolving to occur.
I'll let you know.